So one of the things that I hear, I have heard more than once, is that your adoptive child is going to have issues. And when I hear that, I just want to say to them, who doesn't have issues? Like, even if you were raised in the best of circumstances, who has gone through life and does not have some sort of issue? Have you guys heard that a lot? And if so, what are your thoughts?
It's really interesting as a caseworker, as I go through this, I try to just explain to you that it's likely it's going to happen, not in the sense because they're adopted, although adoption can bring the circumstances in which, especially like an international adoption or foster care, there's circumstances that can lead to, attachment issues, issues coping, and,
right.
All kinds of things. But the reality is all kids have identity issues. All kids have behavior issues at some point, and I hope what I'm doing is preparing them to realize that probably will happen. And you can check off that you're only open to this and you're only open to that,
right.
all you want. Yeah. But that child's going to be born, and that child's going to be a child, a child that was born into this world, and you should, and maybe that's like the fantasy that maybe you have as a biological parent, is that your kids are going to be perfect, and it's just something you have to work through anyway. But yeah, but I think you do need to be aware that adoption can bring some issues, and not even necessarily adoption itself, but what happened before adoption, and how they're going to deal with that, But yeah, I don't think it's something to be scared of necessarily. Not any more scared than you should be already as a parent.
Right.
My thought is that every child needs love. And if you can love a child unconditionally and support them and educate yourself and do the best that you can, that child's going to be okay. Like, they're going to be better off than they would have in a worse situation. So it's, you do the best that you can, just like every other parent. It doesn't matter that your child was adopted or not.
Sure, but I think just like, kind of like we talked about before, like, you just have to educate yourself and be aware of maybe some of the things that can be issues, and arm yourself with knowledge and with tools, just like my son Max was born with a cleft lip. I had to educate myself about clefts and what that looks like and what are things that can happen. What surgeries is he going to need? What do I need to be aware of as his mom? Now, whether or not I had given birth to him or adopted him, I would still have to know about the cleft stuff. And I think it's the same with adoption. You just have to be aware. Okay, they may have some identity feelings. They may feel like they may have been neglected. I don't know how to say all of that, but there may be things that can come with adoption, but that does not make them having issues. I think of my family growing up, we're all biological, and you could say that my brother had issues growing up. Like, we were all biological, we were all raised the same way, and people would probably look at our family and say, oh, he had issues. Yeah. But that's just kind of life. It's just who we are, and you just have to deal with issues as they come. I have issues. My husband has to deal with that.